Judge Scott McAfee has struck down 6 counts against former President Trump and 5 of his former associates. They include his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and attorneys Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, Ray Smith, and Bob Cheeley. The dismissed charges relate to allegations the defendants tried to persuade Georgia elected officials to violate their oaths of office and overturn Mr. Trump's narrow defeat in the state's 2020 presidential election. According to Judge McAfee, as written, these 6 counts contain all the essential elements of the crimes, but fail to allege sufficient detail regarding the nature of their commission.
It goes to the sloppiness of, frankly, the prosecutors down there.
If District Attorney Fani Willis chooses not to appeal the judge's decision, legal scholars say she could try a simpler case on the 35 remaining charges, but the 6 counts in question are really at the heart of her legal theory.
These are the one set of charges that speak to the Constitution and to the constitutional order and to the heart of democracy, which I think is what's been motivating Fani Willis all along.
These counts could be essentially revived if they want to go back to the grand jury, but that will eat up calendar space. It may make it difficult to try the case before the election.
Judge McAfee is still considering a defense motion to have Willis disqualified from prosecuting the case because of her romantic relationship with Nathan Wade, one of the special prosecutors she hired. In an interview with WSB Radio, the judge said that his decision on this would be non-political and that he intends to hold himself to a self-imposed deadline of ruling by this Friday.
My favorite part about that is the sweaty lies in court. That's what makes the whole building come down. Sitting there sweating bullets, being like, did you ever go to a cabin? You know I'm the smartest lawyer ever. That's why I'm prosecuting Donald Trump. Today is Thursday, March 14th, 2024. New Georgia law just signed into effect today, right now. These are the first moments this Georgia law is in effect. Let's the state of Georgia remove Fani Willis from the Trump case. We're going to cover all of it here. This is bombshell stuff. So now Fani Willis is facing the dual prongs of disqualification from the judge, who may rule at any time, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. This is going to be like the royal wedding coverage. We're gonna have a ticker box in the corner. Fox News actually has a ticker box in the corner. It's like Fani Willis' decision could come at any time. So get ready. Corporate media panics over collapse of cases against Trump, and Senator Tommy Tuberville joins the show for the first time. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live streaming for the first time on Instagram. So if you're watching from Instagram, we say thank you and welcome. Welcome to the Benny Brigade and the Salty Army, where the salt must flow. So please enjoy your time here. We look forward to bringing the show to the largest possible audience, and we are, again, ready to rock and roll. You will, I think, have quite a fun time here, and there's going to be a lot of salt in today's programming. I hope you have your salt shakers ready. A member of the Benny Brigade actually sent me images of a massive salt shaker that they had 3D printed for the show. So we look forward to using that massive 3D salt shaker printer, ladies and gentlemen. When you are watching the show, no matter what platform you're watching on, we say thank you and welcome. No matter where you're watching, we hope you're using a phone from Patriot Mobile. We hope you're using a Patriot Mobile network-connected device. Patriot Mobile is the only Christian conservative wireless provider in America. They believe in free speech. That's a very important thing you should believe in this industry. They keep us going. They are the backbone, actually, of the work that we do on the road, keep us connected in very hard-to-reach places where we travel and try to do God's work, ladies and gentlemen. So as we are spitting fire, Patriot Mobile is keeping you connected. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation when you use the offer code Benny. Make the switch today. patreonmobile.com/Benny. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this one's a very, very interesting day because starting today, we always like preview sort of the news channels out there, and we saw that Fox News has a very special little box up. Now, Fox News has a lot of resources and a lot of reporters, and someday we hope to have as many reporters and resources on this program. I mean, it's amazing the way things are changing right now. And we will most likely be having our first Capitol Hill reporter by the end of this season. By summer, we're going to be announcing our first Capitol Hill reporter here for the Benny Show to go and ask questions of members of Congress. And I bet you can guess what those questions are going to be like. It's going to be so awesome. We're going to get so many great clips. Oh, the amount of resources, the amount of viral moments that are missed because there are not based reporters on Capitol Hill that ask real questions on behalf of the American people. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to miss them. And we thank you, obviously, for supporting this program so that we can do this kind of work for you. But as of right now, Fox News, with a lot of resources, with a lot of reporters, have up a little icon on their reporting, on their live stream. Yeah, a little icon. You can see Fani Willis awaiting decision on Fani Willis. Okay, so do they know something that we don't know? Are we just going to have good luck this morning? Will the judge decide? Will the judge rule and say that Fani Willis is disqualified? We have all of the indications that he will disqualify her. And we'll go through them in the show. But this is new. And Fox News, again, a lot of resources, a lot of reporters, a lot of sources, and a huge team in Fulton County. Like they have a massive team there in Fulton County. They have like their best reporters down there. So what are they hearing? Why would they put up that little box? Here's what it actually looked like on the live broadcast. We pay attention to these things. What's our superpower? I went to community college, okay? I'm just a dude, all right? I'm just a dude. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. Love this country a lot. Our superpower is that we're alive and we pay attention. And pattern recognition. We know patterns. We see patterns. We see those patterns and we're like, wait up, hold up. Fox News is doing something totally different today. It looks like this. They have a box as though it was like the royal wedding. As though there's like a royal wedding going on. Or like, I don't know, the announcement of some type of like major event, State of the Union, awaiting some major announcement. So is the decision going to happen right now? We'll see. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going to talk about today. Here's how Fox News is playing it up.
Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County. A judge there dismissing half a dozen charges in the election interference case in Georgia.
That same judge is also weighing a decision on whether to disqualify the prosecutor who brought the case, Fulton County DA Fani Willis. This in response to allegations she was dating her lead prosecutor when she hired him.
So that could come at any moment, as we say. The judge expected to rule any day, could be today. This after Willis's explosive testimony that we watched just last month.
Yes. Explosive is a very kind way of putting that. The judge said 2 weeks ago that he would make his decision in 2 weeks. And the judge just confirmed that he's on track to make that decision, and it's going to take him a long time to write this decision. He has to really ponder these situations that are before him. He has to ponder the fact that Fani Willis said, if somebody tells me that I owe them $1,000, they going to get a G. The judge really must ponder that. The judge must ponder the fact that Fani Willis said, you want me to emasculate a black man in your courtroom? The judge has to ponder that one. The judge has to ponder the fact that Fani Willis doesn't know how to wear her dresses correctly and wears her American flag pin upside down. The judge has to ponder the fact that Fani Willis grabbed a ream of paper and started shaking it and screaming at his court. You should always have that clip as a play-beside. Always have that clip as a play-beside. Do you have it? There you go. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Fani Willis, this is the smartest prosecutor in all of Georgia. Come on, grab the paper. Start shaking it. I mean the paper, okay? Trust me, I'm not Nathan Wade. Grab the paper. Come on, Fani. Do it. All right, guys. We'll find the clip and shorten it up. It's my favorite clip. It's my favorite clip from the entire trial. Fani Willis grabbing the paper and shaking it and screaming. There we go. There. Nothing says bright, sharp legal minds like that. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of Georgia, who I'm not like a super big fan of, obviously, I think the Republicans of Georgia are extremely weak and are quite corrupt. But even they have seen what a fraud and what a humiliation this has brought upon their state and the judicial system of their state. And so Brian Kemp, who's the governor of Georgia, you might like him, you probably hate him. Brian Kemp, again, very, very weak Republican, hasn't done jack for election integrity in the state of Georgia and allowed effectively the election systems in Georgia to be utterly compromised. I mean, truly, like, I think Brian Kemp is a malevolent figure. Yet, a broke clock is right twice a day. Brian Kemp signed into law a bill aimed at reining in rogue prosecutors amid a wider scrutiny surrounding the Fulton County District Attorney Office Fani Willis prosecution of former President Donald Trump. The bill would allow the Prosecuting Attorneys Qualification Commission, created last year to determine its own rules as to whether the Supreme Court, without the Supreme Court's approval. Speaking to the press about the signing of the bill, Kemp cited the issue of crime, saying the legislation was needed to ensure prosecutors were properly prosecuting criminals and not people because they didn't like their skin color. And what we mean by that is, of course, Orange Man. Orange Man bad. The entire argument for 2024 will be Orange Man bad. Get ready for the resuscitation of that meme. This legislation will help ensure that rogue, incompetent prosecutors are held into account if they refuse to uphold the law, Kemp said. As we know all too well, crime has been on the rise across the country, especially in prevalent cities where prosecutors are giving criminals a free pass, failing to put them behind bars for lack of professional conduct. Here, where we broadcast out of Florida in Tampa. That's where I live. And there was a George Soros prosecutor that like snuck in under the radar, right? There's some mouth-breathing libs in this, in this area. It's a pretty split city, right? Like Republican, Democrat. It's certainly not a Democrat city. But like these people can like sneak under the radar and they take George Soros's money and they can win these races. And Ron DeSantis just nuked the guy from space. He's like, oh, yeah, you're not going to prosecute crime? Boom, gone. And he just took the guy sued, lost. Now he's gone. Ron DeSantis, of course, showing what Ron DeSantis is the best Republican governor in the country. In my opinion, one of the worst presidential candidates in the country, but the best Republican governor in the country because of actions like this. He like actually uses the muscular executive power of the Florida governor's office, just straight up remove prosecutors like that. Wouldn't that be amazing in Fulton County? He's like, no, you can't just like go after Donald Trump for nothing, for specious charges. No, gone. And so that's what this law is actually allowing to happen. Get a load of this. When out-of-touch prosecutors, this is a quote from the governor, put politics over public safety, the community suffers, people and property are put at risk. Today we are renewing our commitment that we will not forfeit public safety for prosecutors and let criminals off the hook. Georgia deserves better and deserves to feel safe in their own communities. So, ladies and gentlemen, smart. This has been sort of like a end around in the destruction of America. Obviously, George Soros figured this out. Dollars for money. This is the easiest way to destroy America. This is the easiest way to destroy our great cities. Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, New York, Philadelphia, put them all on the list. LA, San Francisco. You just pay a teeny little, just dollars for money, man. You put a little bit of money in to one of these prosecutors, and they were able to go in and like turn the entire city into like Gotham, like open up Arkham Asylum and just like let the people rampage. And then, of course, you get criminal migrants coming in, criminal aliens, and those criminal aliens commit crimes, and the prosecutors just let them out. You need the votes? And then they go down to Georgia, and they kill Laken Riley, which is exactly what happened. That's exactly the TikTok of what happened. And so it's like a very cheap way to destroy America and to kill Americans inside of America. And so thank God the Republican governors are putting an end to this, like a really, really smart and very, very good thing to do. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Fani Willis is facing criminal perjury inquiry in Georgia. Not great. Not a great week for Fani Willis. And we haven't even started getting to work on her on this program. Get ready. We haven't even gotten started here. Ladies and gentlemen, get a load of this. District Attorney in Donald Trump's election fraud case in Georgia now facing perjury charges this week. Judge Scott McAfee is expected to rule at the end of the week. Could be during this show. Come on, baby. Make it during the show. Let's go. Fox News has the little thing up saying it could happen right now. Do they know something we don't know? We don't know. Does Fox News know something we don't know? They don't, like, Fox News doesn't give up screen time, right? For something that might not happen. They even have a live shot of the courthouse right now. So they have a live shot up at the courthouse. Any moment. Decision on DA Willis's fate. Whoa, that's a new one. So that's happening. My producer is telling me that's happening right now. So we'll see. We'll see. You know how we do on this program. We will literally go live for the next 10 hours if they do this. So we'll see. We'll see. We're here for you. Thank you for being here for us. We'll see if this judge is here for justice. Judge Scott McAfee is expected to rule at the end of the week as to whether Fani Willis should be removed by Trump from the Trump trial or even face perjury charges as a result of her relationship with Nathan Wade, chief prosecutor in Trump case. Trump and his co-accused claim that Willis only appointed Wade to the case because they were in a relationship. Trump's team presented evidence from a technical expert that allegedly showed that Wade made late-night trips to Willis's home long before the Trump case began. One can be convicted of perjury in Georgia for knowingly making a materially false statement under oath. However, in order to convict for perjury, there must be more than one witness. I doubt that there's more than one witness to her alleged affair at the time, said a New York-based attorney. That's not true. That's not true. There are like tons of witnesses. We'll stack them up in the show. I believe that the distinction should be drawn between the evidence that impeaches the witness and the sense that it affects the witness's credibility. There is no more credibility. Their credibility is gone. How bad is it? How bad has it gotten? Ladies and gentlemen, I love starting the show off with Assault That Lib. This is a show where the salt must flow. Defense attorney tells MSNBC that the judge pulling Fani Willis from the case will be the death knell for the case. So MSNBC, I love these MSNBC clips. We have a series of them where MSNBC gets like red and black pilled live on camera with these legal scholars being like, not only is this going poorly, this is going disastrous. Like, this is the Titanic happening, but the Titanic is sinking on a dumpster fire on a train that's going over into the Grand Canyon off the tracks. This is not good. Like, and these people are libs. They want Donald Trump to go to jail. And they're straight up like telling MSNBC, we're doomed. It's done. We're finished. So stacking up a couple of important things here, all right? One, the amount of interest in this trial is not great for Fani Willis. They hope that these kind of things, like when you're getting this kind of attention nationally, like that creates pressure on the system, media pressure on the system, that really corrupts the potential of a case. This was what happened during the OJ trials. The amount of media scrutiny and attention actually began to like create immense drama outside of the courtroom, corrupting the case and making it much, much bigger, okay? The media attention here is warranted, obviously, but that's a major compounding factor. Two, the judge is taking 2 weeks to decide this issue. Remember, Fani Willis was elected, as far as we know, right? Fulton County, lots of shenanigans in Fulton County. Watch out for the water pipes inside of the county offices. But the judge should just let the DA bring her case. That's just the normal process of things. This is not normal. The fact that the judge is allowing this to happen and that the judge is sitting there saying, I got to take 2 weeks to make this decision. That's a very dangerous precedent. That's like not normal. That means somebody effed up big time. And they are on thin ice, if they're on any ice at all. And now the judge, preceding the disqualification ruling, has been nuking from space some of the main charges that make up the bulk of Fani Willis's case against Trump. We covered that yesterday, but he just completely threw out 6 of the charges before even a trial, saying Fani Willis doesn't have the evidence to bring these charges. He's not even going to allow those charges to be brought. Dude, boom, done, innocent. Trump, not even innocent. There's not even a ruling. The ruling is Fani Willis can't bring these charges. You already lost. Before you even presented a scintilla of evidence, you're done. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to MSNBC already singing their little siren song, their swan song, on air. Oh, and it is salty. Oh, and it is delicious. And if Fani Willis gets disqualified from the case, that means the case goes back to the Attorney General of Georgia. Georgia has supermajorities for Republicans in both chambers and a full Republican government, just like most states with like a big city. You look at like Illinois is a good example. There's one county, Cook County, that's a Democrat county in all of Illinois. The entire rest of Illinois is red. Georgia is very similar. The entire rest of the state is pretty much red, and there's one county, Fulton County, that's a Democrat like superstructure. Atlanta, right? And so if Fani's disqualified, you can't take the case anywhere else. Everyone else will kill it. Everyone else is going to kill it. Everyone else is going to drop all charges and say this is a specious case. It ain't going to happen. So if they disqualify Fani, it's game over, right? So ladies and gentlemen, let's cope and seethe with MSNBC. That's sort of the setting of the table here, putting meat on the bones. Here's MSNBC seething, crying, screeching, salt rocks from their faces. Help me salt these libs, ladies and gentlemen. I want salt shakers in the comment section. Salt these libs.
Again, I think this shows that Judge McAfee is taking, his duty seriously with respect to really not letting politics play a part in his decisions whatsoever.
I just wonder if he would go there, if he would dismiss charges, if he's planning to throw out the case or remove it from Fani Willis altogether, as we await that decision over the question about whether, there was misconduct with her relationship and Nathan Wade.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't have anything to do with it. These are completely distinct legal issues. And certainly his decision on the disqualification, as we all know, does not kill the case in and of itself. He wouldn't dismiss the indictment. It would just be reassigned to sort of a governing body in Georgia to then be reassigned. However, I myself feel, and many other people feel, that that would, in effect, essentially be the death knell for this case because, another time when Fani Willis was removed from a case for, in this very case, for a conflict of interest, that case is still languishing at that body. It hasn't been reassigned yet. I don't know that there are many other prosecutors in the state of Georgia that would want to take on this case, that have the resources, the expertise. And so this, could be sort of death by a thousand cuts.
No, death by nuclear atomic weapon. Death by salt bomb. Oh, thank you for all that salt. We really appreciate it. Yum, yum. Salt's so good. So we are sitting here telling you exactly what the MSNBC commentators are saying online and on air. We're saying the same thing. What kind of world is this? What kind of world is it where, we're saying the exact same thing as MSNBC? She's saying that there is no institution in Georgia that would ever pick up this case. Georgia's a red state. They lie to you and cross the wires and wiggle the wires to try and make it a blue state. It's not. It's a supermajority red state. We've been to Georgia a lot. We've done a lot of work in Georgia. Those people love Trump. You drive through Georgia, we have. You see Trump signs everywhere. Fani Willis lives in this teeny little blue enclave, which is really crime-ridden hellhole, Fulton County. We went to Fulton County once to film a Man on the Street, and we want to go back. Now I'm going to regret not going back sooner, because if they disqualify Fani, we'll miss our window. But we want to go back. We went to Fulton County once to film Man on the Street, Rolls-Royce and I did. And Rolls-Royce, pop yourself on camera. How big were how big were the rats that we saw just running around in broad daylight, okay? In a very nice part of Atlanta. How big were the rats?
I have a clip on my phone somewhere. The rat was literally 2 feet long. It was ginormous. There's a clip where it runs behind Benny, and it's scary how big it is. It's disgusting. And there was hundreds of rats running all over the place. I honestly couldn't count, but we'd be walking down the street and just rat after rat after rat, all in the park. There's this central park area right in Atlanta where we were walking through talking to people, and there was hundreds of rats. And I went out. I'll never forget this. I went out. There was a CVS. I was out of like toothpaste or something. I went across the street at night. Shouldn't have done that in Atlanta. At night, and there was double the amount of rats that came out in that Central Park, like small area in Atlanta. I couldn't believe it. And if we go back, I have no doubt that there'll be even more, actually, because he's not done anything that I know about it.
I am telling you people that if you have an infestation of filth and rats and plague and disease, that means that you have a government filled with plague, disease, and filth. And that is what you're seeing in Fulton County. It was the middle of the day. I've never seen a city like this. It was the middle of the day. We were in a nice part of Atlanta, right downtown. We were staying in a fancy hotel, right? We were staying in a nice hotel because, like, we wanted to be safe. We want a hotel with security and stuff, right? And right outside the doorstep, I mean, it was like, it was filthy. It's not even Gotham. Gotham's kind of cool. It was just like, it was like filth. It was like third world for third world environment. It was gross. And so we apologize. The people of Atlanta deserve better. And you should have prosecutors that are focused on different things. Some dude flashed a gun at us while we were walking down the street. Some dude threatened us. And like Fulton County is like a murder capital. There's so much crime going on in Fulton County. I mean, we should do like a crime special on Fulton County. There's so much crime to prosecute in Fulton County. The amount of time and resources that are being spent on this, I mean, it's demonic. I mean, it means you must hate the people that elected you. You must literally hate them. Because there are so many problems in that county. Okay, just like a quick aside. I see that the commenters are summoning ALX, ladies and gentlemen. ALX is always at the ready. You may get ALX. We may have an ALX. Let's build an ALX update into the script because we have a Twitter story later on in the show. We'll put in the ALX update. No, don't worry. We listen to the commenters. We see the comments. We put the comments on screen when we're live. Like, don't you worry. We listen. Everyone else betrays their audience. Bud Light, Disney, everyone else is betraying their audience. We are like focused up, razor focused on this audience. People are calling for ALX. Well, we're going to build in an ALX update. ALX for VP. Okay. Hey, he's got the photo with Trump. Trump loves the shirt. Never surrender. Thanks, Fani. Thank you, Fani. In fact, we went to a Trump campaign event recently with our Trump mugshot shirt. ALX was wearing one when we were hanging out with Trump this weekend. But we went to a Trump rally with the Trump mugshot shirt and asked people what they thought of the Trump mugshot. You want to talk about like the biggest backfire in American history. Here's just a preview with a full video is going to be up this weekend or Friday. It's in final edits, but here's like a quick preview of what Fani Willis has done because, ladies and gentlemen, the backfire is here. Like by giving Donald Trump a mugshot, like what you've done is given him the greatest political tool. Like, is Fani Willis secretly working for Trump? Like the greatest political tool ever. It's awesome. It's why we have it printed off in our studio. It's like 4 feet tall. Like that mugshot's massive. All right. And we wore this mugshot to a Trump rally, and this was the result. And we hope you like it. What's your message to Donald Trump?
Thank you for being here.
Why do you like Donald Trump?
Because
he makes America great. Free Donald, man.
Yeah, free Trump.
Hey, man, I love you. Make America great again. Hey, he big time gangster, man. You know what it is, man. Yeah. That's Donald right there. Vote for the Trump, man. F Biden. They scared of the Donald, man. Joe Biden don't want no smoke, man. They ain't stepping for Donald like that. They ain't riding for Donald like that, man. We riding, man.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest?
You ain't black. On August 24th, 2023, Donald Trump received this mugshot from Fulton County. This event created the largest political backlash the world has ever seen. This mugshot did not ruin Donald Trump. It made him an icon, a legend, a gangster.
Boy, this shit gangster. Can't lie to you.
In the moments after the mugshot, people were in the streets of Fulton County screaming, "Free my boy Trump." Rappers are getting tattoos of this mugshot on their bodies, and even Snoop Dogg's coming out saying, "I've got nothing but love for Donald Trump." We decided to go to a Trump rally in the Deep South and see what people thought about this mugshot by wearing one on our shirt. This is Benny on the Block, Trump Mugshot Edition. Let's go. Possibly the longest line I've ever seen for a Trump rally. What do you think of my t-shirt, ma'am?
I love the mugshot. Thank you, Georgia.
This is straight gangster.
Gangster, I love it.
It's awesome. I love your shirt.
People putting this on their sheet cakes on their birthday, getting tattoos of this.
Absolutely.
There are rappers getting like full thigh tattoos of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't tell my wife, I got one too.
Yeah.
This is a tramp stamp.
On the back.
How did you know?
I knew.
I love your shirt, ma'am. It's beautiful. You have great fashion sense.
Thank you very much.
What a beautiful mugshot. It might be the most beautiful mugshot ever.
Oh, good.
He's a gangster.
He's a gangster.
Yeah.
I love it. I wish I had one to wear tomorrow night when I DJ because I'm ready for Trump to get back in office.
Love it. I mean, just, better profile that he's had in the years that he's been in office. It says something to the community, and it really means a lot to people, just, ordinary folks that represent freedom and love, people that stands up. And even our president, and what he's doing, he's standing up for us.
Man, your shirt is awesome. When I saw it, I was like, Benny, yeah.
I think your shirt's awesome.
That's my favorite picture of Trump. Like, I love that. Once people saw that mugshot, they were just like, I can't do anything but vote for this man.
I mean, it's pretty gangster. I mean, the mugshot.
I think it's pretty funny. I've seen the memes and stuff, and I think it's pretty good stuff.
This is like backfire, right? Because this makes Trump a gangster.
Yeah, so drippy.
Yeah,
he doesn't surrender.
I love this guy right here. Let me give this guy a hug right here. I love this guy right here. Yeah, come here.
Come on. What other shows are doing stuff like that? Like, we were having a blast, ladies and gentlemen, at this program. We thank you so much, obviously, for supporting us in our work out here. We are here to actually do our best to bring as many people. It's like we view a political party kind of like a real party. Like, you got to have fun. You don't want to go to a party where everyone's like stuffy and screaming about, like, I don't know, all the pain in their lives and like how oppressed they are, what victims they are. Feel bad for me. We'll get to that with Don Lemon later on. But you don't want to go to that party. You don't want to go to that party where like the host is like some old creepy old guy who like smells like old mustard stains and mothballs, and he's sniffing you, and he's, oh man, talking about his whatever he talks about. Yeah. Anyway, no, you don't want that. You don't want that. You want to go to a party where people are laughing and having a good time. That's what you want. You want to go to a party like that. And we were like dead set on like creating that here. And obviously, well, I think we're winning. Boys, I think we're winning. Check this out from CNN. Trump charges dropped in Georgia case, embarrassing screw up for Fani Willis. This is CNN's legal expert. This guy hates Donald Trump, and he is a TDS 11 stricken sad man who deserves a therapist couch. Every time he talks about Donald Trump, he like gets hives and the shakes on air. But here he is being like, he can't help it. These people can't help themselves because they know this is the last chance the Democrats have to like put Trump in jail before the election, and it's all blowing up in their faces. So he's talking about the judge deciding before the trial, we're not going to allow these charges to be brought against Trump. This is such a dumpster fire of a filing against Trump. I can't allow the main crux of your case. I can't allow that to actually go forward. So you're done here, Big Fanny. Here's CNN like weeping over it. We got to do another salt that lip. There's one more salty clip. We never do two salt that libs in a row, but we got to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We got the salt shakers out. Let's salt this lib one more time. The salt must flow. Here's CNN weeping on air over Fani Willis's big time F up. There's been a lot of Fani Willis F-ups, if you know what I mean. Let's go.
That phone call is still part of the case. There are other charges in the case that squarely relate to that phone call. For example, the first count in the indictment, which is the very broad racketeering count, will still include that conduct. There are other fraud counts that would still include that conduct. So I don't think this ruling changes the type of evidence that the DA is going to be able to introduce, but it does knock out some of the charges. And look, it's embarrassing for prosecutors. It's a screw up by prosecutors when you bring a charge and then a judge throws it out before it even goes to trial.
It's a screw up. It's the end. It's something that's like, I mean, what they're not saying there is that these 6 charges are effectively the brick, like, and mortar and cornerstone of the case. And that without it, the case is really quite frankly, toilet paper thin. This is what Jonathan Turley, one of our favorite legal analysts, is saying on Fox.
What do you think will happen in this case as it relates to her? And what should happen in your view?
Well, this case is disassembling in front of our eyes. This was a very basic error. You know, this is a major case, but these prosecutors didn't put together the most basic narrative or facts that have to support these counts. The question is, what did the grand jury know? If it wasn't in the indictment, how did they vote out these crimes? What were they told as the basis? Because the judge just said, you're not even telling the defendant what he needs to know to defend himself. I don't know what facts you're alleging here. Now, they could go back to the grand jury and get a superseding indictment, but that's going to take time. It's going to take time off the clock. And they might have a problem doing what is obviously their overriding purpose here, which is to try Donald Trump before the election. They could just go without these counts. The judge said, I'll let you refer to the underlying conduct. I just won't let you use them as standalone crimes for these particular counts unless you go back to the grand jury.
Ooh, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know us. We're going to have our team at the ready. If there is a decision by this judge live on the show, it's going to be either today or tomorrow. We have that in the judge's own words, in fact. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, based on an interview that the judge just did, a radio interview, the guy's been holed up in his office writing this decision. Nobody's seen him, but he did do a radio interview because judges are elected positions in Fulton County. And so the guy's been doing interviews. He does stand for election. And he has an opponent who Fani Willis is funding. Isn't that interesting, ladies and gentlemen? Funding directly with petty cash out of her fanny pack. But Fani Willis, nonetheless, is going to try to run somebody against this judge. And he got a phone call on the radio about it. And here's what he had to say. See if you can pick up in this clip how doomed Fani actually is. Have a listen.
And I know it's true. So on that state, can you tell us? I have got to ask this question also. Can you tell us? Are you any close or anywhere closer to that 2-week decision on the election interference? Are we closer to that? Are we sooner than 2 weeks or outside of 2 weeks? How are we looking?
I gave myself a deadline because I knew everyone wanted an answer, and I'll tell you, an order like this takes time to write. There's a lot that I have to go through. And so, you know, I'll emphasize this. I've had a rough draft and an outline before I ever heard a rumor that someone wanted to run for this position. So the result is not going to change because of politics. I am calling it as best I can in the law as I understand it. So I still feel like I'm on track to having that done by the deadline that I put on myself.
Two things. He's on track to having this done, and he already started writing this ruling before they announced the political opponent. What does that mean? Well, that means the judge has been working on this for some time. Now, let me tell you a little something. We have big-time friends in the legal profession. They come on the show. You know, we have Brett Tolman on the show. We have Julie Kelly. We have Mike Davis. We have some of the smartest legal minds in the world on this program. We're thankful for that, for them to come here and give us insight and to tell us about what's actually going on. And here's what they tell me. These people are the ones who appoint the judges, right? Mike Davis was in charge of appointing like 1,000 judges. So he knows these guys. So Mike's talking to me offline. And he's like, here's a absolute bona fide reality that judges typically, they are ordered to just simply go along with the process. All right. The process is to let the DA bring the charges and to hear the case. The process is not to disqualify the DA for banging everyone up and down her staff. That's not the process. The process is not to allow these kind of hearings to become absolute catnip for the media and for people that are looking to embarrass the offices and the judicial institutions of the state of Georgia. Like, that's the judge's job, is to uphold those institutions. And so when the judge, and this is something that Mike told me, when the judge takes this time, when judges are ponderous and like taking this amount of time to issue these rulings, it means doom. It doesn't mean they're going to stick with the same old process, because that's what they're supposed to do. If judges are taking weeks, and if he's like having to like sit there and like go into his office and like consult his law books and legal experts and write some big opinion, it means they're going to disqualify. That's what we've been told. And he would have damn good reason to. Fani Willis should be facing felony counts in the state of Georgia. Now, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has brought felony charges against, has effectively like said, here are the felonies that Fani Willis engaged in, and you must prosecute. So as a member of Congress, she's gone to the state attorney general and has these big discharge petitions, like saying, here are some of the times that Fani Willis engaged. But here's one that's like just on its face, like a bona fide lie, right? Here's a bona fide lie. Fani Willis, during her testimony, did you ever go to the White House? Go.
My next question is based on her opening the door, and therefore I'll just ask it, and Your Honor can decide whether or not it's appropriate. When you went to D.C., did you go to the White House?
I did not go to the White House.
No. Well, apparently I'm going to get the answer anyhow.
There you have it. Next question.
Okay.
Okay. You can hear in that clip, maybe we should slow that clip down. You can hear in that clip her counsel, the Bud Light lawyer, Mr. Bud Light Law. You can hear the guy go, You can hear it in that clip. You can hear him try to interject and be like, don't say it. They know this exists. They know that there's a Secret Service record of Fani Willis going to the White House. There it is on your screen. Let's zoom in. You can see her name, the date and time that she went to the White House and met with the vice president. Fani Willis met with the White House. Nathan's Hot Dog went and met with the White House counsel before the indictments. So there, Fani Willis just perjured herself. Not only do we have the Secret Service record, so what's your argument? The Secret Service lied? Secret Service is lying about you going into the White House? You know how hard it is to get into the White House? We've been to the White House many times. You know what a big pain in the ass it is to like actually get physically into the White House grounds? They don't make mistakes. This is not a mistake. This required Fani Willis's social security number, home address, a full background check on Fani Willis. They went into like literally, if you have the wrong social media postings, you can't get in the White House. This happens all the time. Where the White House like invites somebody and the Secret Service says, nope, you're not allowed to come in. Criminal background check, we didn't like it. You did something at some time, at some point, and you're not allowed in. Only the president's family gets waved into the White House based on facial recognition. And that's how you get the bags of Coke in the White House, actually. Don't need to go any further into that one. That's how you get bags of Coke in the White House. That's not a lie. And ladies and gentlemen, what does this mean? Well, this means that actually, like, just based on this lie alone, and we can detail like 50 more lies, and we're going to actually. Based on this lie alone, Fani Willis must be disqualified. You just lied, right? This is what was the testimony of Miss Merchant, who's a lawyer for Trump, or the Trump defendants. Miss Merchant testified to the Georgia Senate. No. There's only one way to deal with this. It's disqualification and potentially disbarment. Watch.
I wonder. Okay, so
In that testimony, did she deny the start date of this affair?
Yes, she said it started in early of 2022. There was some discrepancy between them, a month or two here and there, whether it started. Generally, it was around March, is what Mr. Wade
So
and Ms.
what are the
Willis.
consequences for an attorney to give sworn testimony that she did if you're Bradley, what is it, Yerke? Yerty, your Trackhawk data, your other independent verifications are found to be truthful?
It's a crime. It's a felony. You'd lose your license.
Okay.
It's perjury.
Same for Wade.
Yes. And we have rules that are one of the, outside of privilege and confidentiality, we cannot suborn perjury. So if I have a client who tells me I did it, I can't put them on the stand to say I didn't do it.
Okay.
I would lose my license over that. I cannot do that.
And
So, wow, that seems like super duper criminal. We just proved the Fani Willis lie. We just proved it. We have the records. We literally have the records. So, what else do you need, right? But we have so much more. We have so much more. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many things that we could play for you. So many clips we could play for you to blow holes in this prosecutor's office, the size of the hull of the Titanic. Let's begin, okay? Here's one of my favorites. It's my all-time favorite. Steve Sadow is the Trump lawyer, the personal lawyer for President Trump. And Steve Sadow presented a text message to the lawyer for Nathan Wade. This guy was in business with him. And it is a text message saying, you effectively, why are they hiring Nathan Wade? They're dating. You're just hiring your boyfriend. This seems criminal. And the lawyer responds, oh, yeah, absolutely. On the stand, the lawyer responds with, oh, dang. When given this information, the lawyer goes, oh, dang. Here we go.
Okay? In Defense Exhibit 26, which I showed you last time, was 2 pages of text messages between you and Ms. Merchant, correct? Correct. All right. Now, the first page starts off by saying, Ms. Merchant, like just date, don't hire him. Do you think it started before she hired him? You see that?
Yes, I see it. Yes.
Okay. Not ever a great sign when your lawyer is being presented with evidence and going, oh, dang. Never great. We've slowed it down for your viewing pleasure in our ESPN instant replay here. And we'll have Coach Tuberville on the program in just a minute. And so, I don't know, maybe we'll play this for him. Because this is worthy of a sports instant replay. Oh, dang. Oh, man. The lies that they told on the stand were so egregious that even MSNBC called them out. MSNBC, ladies and gentlemen, played back-to-back clips of Nathan Wade and Fani Willis lying on the stand about their relationship and then bringing in a preponderance of evidence, including witnesses, fact witnesses, saying, nope, they're lying. They're lying about their relationship. Again, we'd have to do a show for the next 10 hours to detail every single lie, but let's just go like on its face, like the obvious ones. They're Fani Willis's best friend, Big Fanny's best friend, is straight up saying, nope, they started dating way before the Trump case, and this is all money laundering between the two of them via the taxpayer dollars. Even MSNBC tearfully has to admit on air. Watch.
When did your romantic relationship with Miss Willis begin?
2022.
When in 2022?
Early 2022.
So you were appointed in November of 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
And your relationship started early. What's early? January? February?
Around March.
Around March. But you two met at an October 2019 judicial conference, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That testimony directly contradicts earlier testimony from one of Willis's former good friends who said the relationship began well before Wade testified it did and predated his hearing by the DA.
You have no doubt that their romantic relationship was in effect from 2019 until the last time you spoke with her?
No doubt.
Did you observe them do things that are common among people having a romantic relationship?
Yes.
Such as, can you give us an example?
Hugging, kissing, just affection.
All before November 1st of 2021, correct?
Yes.
Just affection, just a basic hugging and kissing. In fact, they were so close that Fani Willis's defense lawyer called her Miss Wade. It's so good. So the guy, they're not, what did Donald Trump say? They're not sending their best. The guy who's hired to defend you, the Bud Light lawyer, Mr. Bud Light we call him, this lawyer, super weak beer, this guy, sweating and like shaking like a leaf. This guy straight up calls Fani Willis Miss Wade. Ooh, oh, it's gotta hurt. Watch.
As well as large-scale cases like this one, and much larger. And they also, there's a lot of high-profile prosecutions. If Miss Willis's ultimate goal by hiring Mr. Wade was for her financial benefit, then she would put Mr. Wade on every single one of those cases. Though she could certainly revel in the riches and lavish lifestyle that has been referred to by defense counsel.
They're not sending their best. Listen, they're not sending their best. We have, ladies and gentlemen, a really special guest on the program here that we are very excited to get to. But I cannot close out this section without playing our favorite moment of the section that proves to you exactly the value of the reporting that we do at this show. We have been able to use some new technology. May have been given to us by Elon Musk, may not have. We're not sure. We cannot reveal that. But we've been able to use some mind-reading technology that has allowed us to take a specific clip from this trial and show you exactly what Nathan Wade was thinking about. Nathan Wade was asked a very tough question. It's a question that makes most lawyers, Ivy League educated lawyers, Yale, Harvard, some of the best, the cream of the crop, makes them shiver. Don't ever ask a lawyer if they've ever been to a cabin, ladies and gentlemen. That is the toughest question there is. Toughest question there is, have you ever been to a cabin? That's what was asked of Nathan Wade, ladies and gentlemen. Took him about 60 seconds to answer, but we've been able to use our technology, exclusive and patented and licensed by this program, to show you exactly what Nathan Wade was thinking about when asked that, the toughest of all questions. Nathan's hot dog, have you ever been to a cabin? Let's see.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
All this time we've been together, thought a thing would last forever. Through thick and thin, good or bad, all I was happy, never sad. Now it's all gone sour, getting worse by the hour. Let's break up.
No.
You've never gone to a cabin with this?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Tommy Tuberville from the great state of Alabama, a state that is sending their best to the Senate. Coach Tuberville, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Hey, that was awesome. And that reminds me of my favorite movie, Cool Hand Luke. What we have here is a lack of communication. You can't make this should be a soap opera, this entire deal.
we often say it's way better than Judge Judy or Judge Joe Brown or Jerry Springer even.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's entertaining at the very least, and I guess that's the best you can ask for these days. Either laugh or cry, and I think there's a lot of things to smile about actually in our movement. Senator, this is your first time in the program, but we've been a fan of yours and some of the work that you've done in the Senate. You haven't been there for a long time, but obviously you have Donald Trump's endorsement. You're very, very close with the president, and this has been a really good week for the president. We may get a Fani Willis disqualification live on this program. We hope we're live with you when that happens. Can you sort of detail for us your relationship with Donald Trump and how you see 2024 progressing going forward to the election?
Yeah, it's been a good relationship with President Trump. I knew him while he was president, and then he was part of the reason that I ran for this Senate position. He stayed with me the whole time. We won fairly easily. You said I hadn't been up here very long. Hey, 5 minutes is a long time in this clown show, I'll tell you. Every second there's something different. And it's just amazing to me how our country is run on a shoestring and by a bunch of people that most of them never had jobs before, to be honest with you. But President Trump's working hard. I tell you, I was down playing golf with him, last weekend, and he is a guy that's got energy. He understands the problems, and everybody said, why are you really for him? Number one, he's been there before. He's seen the good and the bad and the indifferent. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the second time. It should have. They pulled a few, put a few blindfolders on our eyes on that last election. But that being said, it's not going to happen this time. He's going to run away with it. Biden's not going. He's not going to debate him. But if he did, it would be over during the first debate. But I'm looking forward to President Trump taking over. I don't know whether we can make it 8 more months, to be honest with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, you've obviously coached a lot of warriors. You've coached a lot of great athletes, and it's very interesting. This weekend we joined Donald Trump at the UFC, and it was like people welcoming a warrior into that arena. It seems like Donald Trump is creating a coalition that I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. And now recent polling shows, and I think we can grab it and put it up on screen. We have it available. Recent polling shows that now African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans are literally sprinting to the Republican Party. As somebody who's sort of seen the warrior mentality and coached the warrior mentality your entire career, what do you make of this?
Well, number one, President Trump's for the United States of America. I don't know what these people up here are for, because you just bring up one thing that they are 110% in for men playing in women's sports. I mean, that just shows you the divide of common sense between the Democrats and Republicans. That will be a major issue as it goes along. But, as I said, President Trump, every day he brings up a different subject. He can speak for hours on and on about the economy, about foreign wars. His relationships with the people outside our borders is much, much needed. We have zero diplomacy up here, or we wouldn't be in this Ukraine-Russia conflict. China would not be a factor. But there's so many things that he does well that this group they don't have a clue. I don't know who the leader is up here. And I've been up here 3.5 years. I don't know who's running the show.
I mean, it begs the question, what are you thinking with this McConnell resignation? I guess that took some people by surprise, even though he's been up. Obviously McConnell's been there since the Stone Age, but now there's going to be a big leadership race. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's time. Leader McConnell's been up here a long time. He's not a Donald Trump fan. We need somebody that's a huge Donald Trump fan that's going to be leader of the Senate, because we're going to take the Senate. Trump's going to win. But we got to win the Senate, and by doing that, we've got to have a new leader that's going to be on the plane with President Trump going to Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, all the places that we really need to win, which I think we can. But it's going to take a full effort from everybody, including a new leader of the Senate. But again, Leader McConnell was up here for a long time, did some good things. But hey, it's time to move on. It's time to get a new head coach, and I think that we'll get the right person. It's going to take a little bit of time.
One of the things with Leader McConnell that has really been a bee in the bonnet of the Republican base has been inaction on the border. I know this is a massive issue, obviously, for you, and you've introduced bills to try and fix this problem. What is the issue here, right? Like, so this kind of stems back to Mitch McConnell being one of those people who said the border wall was too expensive, yet $100 billion, $200 billion for Ukraine is not expensive. Ukraine is now, we just learned this morning, building a border wall with Russia. So all that money is going to be used to build a border wall in Ukraine and not here in America. And then we've seen utter inaction, and including a very humiliating down in flames border bill that was proposed just recently. Not even Mitch McConnell voted for his own bill. How do we fix this? You have some what seems to us like some very smart ideas.
Yeah, total lack of organization from our leadership all the way down to in our caucus about the border. Now, we are against what's happening at the border. Joe Biden just thought this up. He, along with Barack Obama, over the last 10, 12, 14 years, they want everybody to come here. They're globalists. We need to take care of everybody. But that can't happen. We can't afford it. The American taxpayers pay in close to $5 trillion a year. And Benny, we're spending $1 trillion every 100 days over what the American taxpayers are sending. And a lot of that is going to people that's coming across the border. But again, we're hearing about all this TikTok stuff. And listen, we need to protect our kids from these outside agencies in terms of social media. But what about the 300 people a day that are dying that fentanyl is being sent from China? You know, how about that? How about the farmland that China is buying next to our military bases in this country? And we're worried about a damn social media app. I mean, absolutely amazing. We're being attacked on our border from people outside the country and inside the country, and we're worried about an app. And again, I do not want our kids brainwashed by China, but we've got other apps that brainwash our kids here too.
I mean, what's the biggest threat to the country? It seems like counting people who aren't Americans in our census, and then allocating and apportioning political power based on non-Americans inside of America. And this is something that I think is quite shocking to those who don't know that it's happening. And this, I believe, is really at the root of why the border is open and why now we're watching crises occurring, like in Haiti, for instance. And you're seeing Guantanamo Bay being outfitted to be turned into a refugee camp. That's the next thing. That was the news from this morning. Are you in favor of that? I mean, is there a way to put a stop to this?
Well, the biggest threat to our national security is Joe Biden. We saw that a week ago. Here's a feeble old man that gets up there and he speaks 100 miles an hour. He had to drink a case of Red Bull before he got up there because and he can't find his way around. God bless the guy. You know, it's time to move on. We need somebody up there that actually understands what's going on. But the biggest threat to our government as we speak is that border, as you just said. Now get ready. We're going to be bringing Haitians in. We're going to be flying them right over the border, landing in the red states, trying to infiltrate and bring the census problem down for the Republicans and changing every state to blue. One thing, a rumor I continue to hear is, we've got this horrific war over in Gaza. Well, Joe Biden will end up bringing hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from Gaza here to our country. Now, number one, they hate us. We're second on their list behind Israel, but he is going to bring these people to the United States because he thinks that they will vote Democrat for no other reason. That's what they want to bring people in here for. Haitians, Palestinians, lock our border down. Let's gain control of our deficit. Let's protect the American citizens and quit this BS of trying to make good on Democrat, policies that want to make this country worse every day and turn us into a socialist communist country.
I mean, it does seem like this is absolutely the play. There's no explanation other than this explanation. And why else would you do this unless you hated the people that actually naturally live here in this country, the people that are born here in this country? They clearly weren't getting the power and the results fast enough. And so for us, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Even Elon Musk seems to be posting about it every single day on X, that this is the plan. Elon Musk seems like a pretty smart guy. You just see the actions, like, for instance, Laken Riley. You talk about Joe Biden's State of the Union. If he didn't drink enough Red Bull or didn't get enough of a cocktail, or there weren't enough baggies of cocaine at the White House for him to get Laken Riley's name right, he said Lincoln Riley. And then Joe Biden apologized for calling her murderer and illegal. I mean, how much do they just hate us? They must just hate us. They must just hate regular Americans.
Benny, it is an absolute confused state up here. I get up every day, and I'm not a politician. I was a football coach, but I actually had a job. And I went into communities and schools and cities all over the country and got to know parents. And we've got a great country. We've got a great group of Americans that love this country. But these people absolutely want to change this. I think they love this country. But they don't love the way it is. They want to totally change it to something else, and they're heading in that direction. And to do that, you've got to have an infiltration of people outside this country to come in to believe and give you the power that you desperately want to continue this nonsense that they're doing. So every day, I just shake my head going, what are we doing in education? What are we doing with law enforcement? What are we doing in the DOJ, the FBI? You listen to guys like Adam Schiff from California running for Senate. I mean, this guy's got a chance to be a United States Senator from California, and he can't tell the damn truth. I mean, he will lie when the truth's better just to make Donald Trump look bad. They hate this guy. They hate Donald Trump because they know he's for this country, and he knows they all know he's for the American people and not for people outside this country.
So you obviously you did spend your professional life as a football coach. You read a lot of energy. It does feel like there's an energy shift right now. It seems spiritual. It seems like people are really awakening to this system that is not designed for human flourishing, and that they are. I mean, you go to the South Side of Chicago. You go to the South Side of Chicago and you ask people on the street like what they think about the open border, and those people will tell you that they have ripped up their Democrat voter card, and they will never vote for Democrats again because of this. I think that this is like having a backfire effect. Are you seeing that in Washington at all? Does anybody on the Senate start to actually feel this? We're seeing a lot of resignations. We're seeing a lot of people leaving Congress. I mean, could we be facing potentially a America First moment here?
I think you really are, especially the inner cities. We've destroyed the education in inner cities. That's the reason we need school choice. The minorities in this country have no chance if they continue to vote for the Democrats. They have done nothing for them. They need to wake up and smell the roses and vote for somebody like Donald Trump that's going to go out there and help them. Vote for senators and congressmen that are going to help your communities, not steal from your communities. It is atrocious. Now, again, I've been in homes that you'd be shocked at how people live, recruiting young men, when I was in coaching, and they just wanted out. They wanted a better life. And that's what I'm telling people, get away from this. There's no Democratic Party anymore. It's all progressive, far left, globalist, communist. But get away from that, because really there's not a Republican Party. You're either American or you're anti-American. That's how it is now. And you better start voting for people that love the country, that want people to have a better life, instead of stealing the life and the lifeblood out of the United States of America.
Senator, I know we only have time for one more question, but I gotta hit on this. One of the homes that you went into to recruit from is The Rock, and you coached The Rock at Miami, and he's been seen on Capitol Hill. He's been seen doing endorsements and in politics. We have sort of on the show, so we've seen him actually come around and apologize for certain things. I have sort of a split opinion of The Rock, but I don't know. I wanted to sort of toss it out there. Since you know the guy, is he planning on running for president? Is he planning on running for office? Are you friendly with him? Do you communicate with him?
Well, I never thought I'd be United States Senator either. So you just never know what's going to be down the road, and way life, the direction life takes you. I can remember bringing Dwayne, who's The Rock, into my office. I was defensive coordinator at Miami when he was a freshman. I said, "What do you want to do for a living? When you get out?" He said, "I'm going to be a wrestler." I said, "Dwayne, we play football here. You want to be a wrestler?" But not knowing, his some of his relatives have been in wrestling before, and I'll never forget. He played good. He's a good player. Unfortunately, he played behind Warren Sapp most of the time, who may be one of the best players I ever have seen or been around and coached, the athletic ability. But after I left, saw the rise of what he did, turning into The Rock, being a wrestler, and then getting into acting. I think he's pretty political. I think he looks at the things out there that are in front of us in terms of policies. I think he's into it more than Aaron Rodgers. I'll be honest with you. Aaron Rodgers is vice president, and he might be a good one, but I think Dwayne he'd be a breath of fresh air if he wanted to get into it. But I need to sit down and talk to him before he does it, and fill him in on a few things. Your voice up here, I don't care who you are, unless you're the president of the United States, your voice doesn't go very far. It only goes as far as you can scream. And that's what I've been doing since I've been here.
Well, keep yelling, Coach. We've really been admiring your work, and obviously, getting wokeness out of our military. There's a bunch of topics we'd like to touch on here, but I guess we got to conclude by saying don't let The Rock run as a Democrat. We saw him endorse Joe Biden. We saw him do the fundraiser with Oprah that had a big backfire. Don't let him do that kind of stuff. Don't let him turn into John Cena, please. The guy still has a little bit of dignity and respect. So there's a lot to politics, Benny, and there's a lot of water underneath the bridge. But you're right. The guys like The Rock could do a lot more from his platform that so many young men and women look up to him and talk about how great this country is. Look what it gave him. It gave him the chance to be a superstar, but also help a lot of people make money. I know where he started. I know where he came from. I know where he's at today. And only the United States of America gave him that opportunity. No other country would have ever given him that opportunity. So hopefully he will spread the goodwill and let people know what this country gave him. Stay out of politics and just talk about what's good about our country. And we need to elect leaders, no matter what, no matter who they are, that want our country to become better and give people that same opportunity. Yeah. I mean, he's welcome to wear a MAGA hat through 2024 as far as I care, but just don't endorse Joe Biden. If you get this kind of opportunity from this country, I mean, Joe Biden's robbing that opportunity from so many young men and women. Don't let him endorse Joe Biden again. We beg of you, Senator. Thank you so much for being on the program. God bless you. Everyone follow Coach Tuberville, please, right over here, and keep fighting the good fight, Coach.
Okay, Benny. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
God bless you. Godspeed.
God bless you.
We have not heard from the judge in Fulton County. We will be going live whenever that ruling comes in. Watch. We take the show off, and then the judge makes the ruling. That's okay. We will just flip it right back on again. Don't you worry. We are ready and prepared. We are in a war footing here, ladies and gentlemen. There is a show, though, that did get flipped off yesterday. A big old flip off from the Bird, or at least a company that used to be a Bird, X. Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk canceled Don Lemon's show on X on Don Lemon's first day of the job. The background here is that Don Lemon was fired from CNN. Elon Musk, in his magnanimity, decided to give Don Lemon a show. And, predictable. Don Lemon effed it up. And to tell us all about it, ladies and gentlemen, our X expert, ALX, with an X update. Ask and you shall receive. If we see commenters saying, "Get me some ALX," we got them, boys. All right, so this has been a very busy 24 hours for Elon Musk. Can you give us an update?
Yeah, so basically, he agreed to a deal with X to have some sort of exclusivity on the show. The details of the contract weren't public, but from what I have heard, so Don Lemon already originally planned to relaunch a show, his Don Lemon show, after getting fired. And the exclusivity agreement was going to be he would post it first on X, and then 24 hours later, he could post it on other platforms. So his first interview scheduled with Elon Musk. And as you accurately predicted yesterday, what happened is he went in there, and as Elon described it, as a CNN interview. Meaning he went in there and just started spewing his own conspiracy theories about the Great Replacement and blah, 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 and saying, oh, you're pushing all of this, X is anti-Semitic and all of like this garbage. And Elon's like, I don't really have to take this from you. Like this interview is like, a gotcha interview type of thing. And it turns out he didn't actually sign the contract. So he, I guess, technically didn't even get fired because the contract wasn't finalized and signed yet. And then Don Lemon went on this rampage yesterday calling about like free speech and censorship, when it's not like he's been banned from the platform. He's just not getting paid extra to post on the platform. He's monetized and, has the freedom to post his show there like any other user, and he's complaining about free speech. But yeah, so he went to CNN last night, the place that fired him, to complain about this. So just the irony of him having to grovel back to CNN and complain about this was just, entertaining to see last night.
We have the video all queued up. I think this is probably the right time to play it. This is our cringe alert of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Don Lemon comes crawling back to go complain about Elon Musk. What a piece of human garbage, man, this guy is. Very cringy. Cringe alert. Let's go.
Is up. Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats? I don't have to answer these questions. The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble, or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
Illuminating in so many ways. All right, I have two things I want to ask you about that, Don. First, the Great Replacement Theory. Right. As you bring it up, he has tweeted a tweet he shared: increasing illegals boost Dem voting power, causing them to recruit more. Mm-hmm. If Dems win President, House, and Senate, they'll grant citizenship to all illegals, and America will become a permanent one-party deep socialist state. Right? He has gone there directly. How much does he stand by these ideas?
Well, he didn't quite seem to understand that he did, originally he did that with Jewish people, sort of a Great Replacement Theory thing that he did with Jewish people, and he got in trouble and he had to go to Auschwitz and answer questions and apologize and go with Ben Shapiro.
What a smug asshat, this guy. Here's Elon responding to you, saying CNN used your interaction. Elon saying, only people walking through airports watch CNN. That's so good for them. Actually, CNN lost that contract, so now airports are...
That's what I replied. I said no longer do people in airports have to suffer, with an article saying that they removed them from the airports. But like, I don't even know what Don Lemon was talking about. The post is about illegal immigrants being counted in the census. And basically, my point was it incentivizes Democrats to get illegal immigrants in their district, so they can become more powerful. And Don Lemon is talking about the Great Replacement being something with like Jewish people. Like, it has nothing to do with race. Like, it has to do with illegal immigrants coming into the country and being counted towards people that are elected in our government. And that they have that on screen, and Elon Musk like amplifying it, like saying that is somehow like anti-Semitic or something. But yeah, he went on in that interview to complain about free speech, like I said, and said, Elon Musk doesn't believe in free speech, and I believe that people that disagree with me, that's the type of speech we have to protect the most. But then also, like we just saw, he was calling for more censorship. So I went back and I dug up his reaction to when Donald Trump got banned from Twitter 1.0. And we have that clip. So let's see how he reacted and how pro free speech he was back then.
Because people like you and the like carried his water and told lies. Allowed the lies to spread. That's why. Senator, nobody asked you to be the editor of the president's Twitter feed. the one he has been permanently barred from, the one he is whining about how they've taken away his freedom of speech. The fact is, these are private companies. They have no obligation to have anyone on their platforms. These are decisions that have nothing to do with Congress, except perhaps for people trying to kill them. Think about it this way. If they're going to espouse freedom of speech, right, being taken away, perhaps this will help you understand if you frame it in that manner, if you frame it in the freedom of religion argument that you use so much. Twitter and Amazon and the like, they are the Christian bakery. Okay? Trump is the gay couple who wants a gay wedding cake. First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. That's what it says. This is nothing about Twitter or social media. The Congress. Don't get it twisted. Stop using that argument. It makes no sense.
Oh, it's so hard. Never give me another 60-second Don Lemon clip ever again. This guy, who gave this guy a job? Imagine if, like, ALX, you and I wouldn't have careers if, like, the way that you or I talked was to say, like, the fact is that that we live inside of a democracy. Mm-hmm. Like, what is that? What kind of delivery is that?
That's why he got booted to the morning show, and that didn't work out. The morning show is no longer existent. Like that's gone. He's gone from CNN. So yeah, I mean, and then for him to talk about like the wedding cake thing or whatever, it's like you can't even compare that because it's like there are like 5 big social media platforms, and like how many different like bakeries are there, or like grocery stores? Like those aren't comparable examples. Number one, number two, like they aren't forcing the social media platforms to violate like, you know, their religious liberties, like by having Trump on the platform. So it's like not even a comparable argument.
No, and as you actually listen to that argument, if there is one, I mean, it's really thin gruel, really weak beer. But if there is an argument that he's making that I suppose I would like put my stamp of approval on, which is it's a private company, and Twitter X is actually more private now than it was when he was talking about it. It's a private company. It can do what it wants. Well, guess what? Don Lemon wasn't banned. So the equivalent thing would be to delete his account and say he's banned from the platform forever. That's what actually anti-free speech would be. And that's what they did to us. That's what they did to you. That's what they did to the president. Mm-hmm. Don Lemon is still allowed to Don Lemon can make revenue off of X.
Yeah. And he's complaining because he doesn't have a contract of, you know, an exclusive contract with them. Like, I really don't understand like what the argument for free speech, quote unquote, is here. And he went, I think it was like a 25-minute segment last night where he was just, you know, crying on air about it. And it just made absolutely no sense because he kept going back and forth between free speech and then calling for more censorship on the platform, saying that there's not enough moderation. So like, I can't square that. It's anti-free speech because you're not locked in a contract and making extra money for posting there, but you want more censorship. Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, join the pal. Join the club, pal. Elon, if you're watching, we'll happily take Don Lemon's contract. Okay? Like just move it on over here. We have 1 million more followers anyway. Like move it on over here. We're way bigger than Don Lemon. We have way more. We have an actual real audience. Don Lemon's is corporate AstroTurf for the last 20 years. And we actually agree with free speech. We have people on this program that disagree with us all the time. We have big conversations about it. It's great. ALX, I think that like the final question on all this is what is happening on X when it comes to like it as a video platform? Is X trying to like move into the YouTube space and turn into like a video streaming platform space?
Yeah, so they're going to be, and they've already rolled this out for bigger accounts, but they're looking to expand it. The issue with turning on the monetization right away is because they weren't selling that out, like ad inventory to advertisers to have in-stream ads. So that's kind of the model that YouTube has taken over the last like 10 years, and they've, become the masters at it. And then, Facebook started doing it, but Twitter 1.0 really didn't invest in that type of stuff. They only had it for kind of like big brands and like news agencies or whatever. But they've recently expanded it to larger creators on the platform, and they're going to expand it to the general population once they have the inventory to do so. But that's kind of where they're going with that, and really improving the interface. And I think live streams will also be monetized. But now the new angle that people are hitting because of the TikTok potential ban is that they want short form as well to be perfected, like sort of like bringing back Vine. Like my idea would be sort of like what Instagram does and has the Reels tab with a separate feed. You can already do that sort of that, but it's harder to get to on X. If you click on a video and then scroll up, you can have that sort of same interface, but it's not like a different feed. So Elon was talking, I think it was Tim Pool who posted about it last night, and he replied, he's like, what do you suggest? Like, how could we do this? So they're looking to invest in short form as well. So we'll see what the future looks like, but they're investing in video, it looks like.
The future looks bright. And as we often talk about online and literally on the stream, always feel bad for the super rich people. Always feel bad. Go through Don Lemon's Instagram. Like, it's nothing but private jets, yachts, private vacations to Italian beaches. Feel bad. Again, the entire Democrat ecosystem, outrageous ecosystem is feel bad for me. I'm a multimillionaire. I'm Alyssa Milano. Like, you must always feel bad for the super rich multimillionaire, man or lady. Michelle Obama, whatever. Insert Hillary Clinton. Feel bad for them. Right? They're the victims.
Yeah, it's so tone deaf, and they like don't even get it. Like I said, like he's going on for 25 minutes yesterday about his free speech while he's like calling for more censorship of people. So it's just like they're so tone deaf, and they don't realize what they're saying. Like they don't take a minute to like hear exactly what's coming out of their mouths. It's just so contradictory and tone deaf.
I think it's such an alpha move. Other people would be scared to fire Betty. I mean, to fire Don Lemon. I mean, it took 20 years for CNN to fire him. And that guy never rated. That guy never got ratings. He's a deeply untalented, deeply low IQ individual. I mean, you just tell by the way he talks. Yeah. Well, here, I'll sign you off. I'll sign you off like I'm Don Lemon. Excuse me, everyone. Please follow ALX. Okay? Like, if you don't, who even are you? Okay? Like, follow ALX. 681,000 people can't be wrong. Okay? Please. See ya, Alex.
See ya. Thank you.
Later, homie. Good riddance. Good riddance. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we await the judge's ruling in Fulton County. Unfortunately, it may not happen during our show. So we've done the best that we can. We've gone for 90 minutes. And, well, it looks like tomorrow may be the day. Nothing from the judge yet. So we will look to the future. The future looks bright. We're very excited about it. You should march into the future with us. March in the Benny Brigade. Join the Benny Brigade. BennyJohnson.com. You can join the brigade there for the price of a large waffle fry from Chick-fil-A. We actually checked this. Yes, for the price of a large waffle fry from Chick-fil-A, you can join the Benny Brigade. And if you do join the Benny Brigade, I promise you that I will never do the Don Lemon impersonation again. Ashley, who's a producer on our team, has informed me that the comment section says that I should never do the Don Lemon impression again. So here's my bargain with you. If you join the Benny Brigade today to keep us independent, because we could choose to do whatever we want on this program, we'd love to have a contract with X, but we love being independent. Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter what, nobody's going to buy this programming. We're going to be able to like go live and do the news. Corporate media locks you into a box. Golden handcuffs, they call it. That's why the Benny Brigade keeps us going, keeps us independent, so that we can show up for you. Please show up for us, and you have my word, I will never, never pull out the Don Lemon impersonation again. Don Lemon. Don Lemon. So sour. So sour with me. They named him Lemon. Maybe we should do a lemon that lib. We'll see. Ouch. Lemon. It stings. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. Okay? We'll work on it. No, I'm not going to do yum yum lemon. No. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your support. We appreciate you. We love you. And we know that it is our job, it is our charge to actually give you uplifting. We wish to give you the uplifting of Fani Willis being disqualified for this show, but we could not manifest it. That's okay. We can manifest a Bible verse for you and guarantee that you get uplifting no matter what kind of news cycle we're in. From Matthew 6:3, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. The more you read the scriptures, the more simple you actually realize commands of Christ are. The commands of Christ are quite really break it down. He's asked once the most important commandments, like, you have to love God. You have to love people around you. Love the people around you. Love God. Like, serve God. Everything else, God will take care of. God will take care of it. Look at the birds. Look at the flowers. Like, look at the splendor of these things. And these things don't even worry one little second about their lives or their time on this earth. And God provides for them, and God will provide for you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you, ladies and gentlemen. Live a life of addition, not subtraction. With us, march forward to victory. Our victory is assured. Pretty inspiring message there. That's what keeps a smile on our face. No matter what, we will win. I'm fighting right alongside you. It's your boy, Benny. See ya.